Hi, today we're going to be taking a look at an analysis of a streamer's YouTube and Twitter presence through social media analytics and web mining. First, we need to define the business problems. Gaming is a multi-billion-dollar industry, with highly engaged fans that like to spend money on their hobby and support other people doing it. It has a very high market cap and it's growing every year. So we need to ask ourselves a couple of questions. How can we understand the fans that we already have? And how can we expand a streamer's ability to increase viewership? And in order to do this, we must analyze the content and the network, gathering data from the platforms used by streamers and fans alike. Ultimately, we want to use this information to evaluate what is working well and what has an opportunity to be improved. The first thing we have to do is decide how we want to approach these business problems. The first thing I've done is retrieve all of the data from the streamer's Twitter account using Spider and the Twitter API. The next thing I've done is select a popular YouTube video from the streamer's account and use a YouTube comment scraper to collect the data. After collecting the data, we can then go on to analyze both the content and sentiment of the data we've collected. Once this is done, we can modify the data and be able to create a network visualization to figure out where the most influential people are in the Twitter network. Let's take a look at what the data from Twitter can tell us. How does this streamer use Twitter to create value for his brand? From the data, we've identified several ways the streamer uses Twitter. The first way is to connect with corporate sponsorships, promote products, and interact with these pages. He also has partnerships with other streamers who play games together and make content together. A third way is interacting with game developers, replying and responding to things like updates in the games or maybe technical difficulties. He also announces upcoming content to followers and uses it as a way to market the content. Ultimately, all of this is a form of interacting with the community he's created online. So, what does the content tell us about the brand? Well, from the sentiment analysis, we can see that 718 tweets were positive in sentiment. This means most people perceive him as a positive person. There were also 700 neutral comments, which can be attributed to announcements and things that don't carry a lot of sentiment on their own, as well as about 250 negative comments. We also know that he's European and interacts with a lot of European companies, people, and brands, and mainly creates content around PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Next, let's take a look at a network analysis of Twitter presence. This data was created by extracting all of the tweets with mentions and then isolating those mentions and creating a column to show a relationship between Fuglet TV and the other accounts. Because all of these accounts share a direct relationship with Fuglet TV, there are no sub-networks to be shown. For this reason, I've chosen to exclude the edges in the diagram so that we can more clearly see the usernames. The color coding of the usernames in this network diagram have been chosen based on a weighted degree, with users that were interacted with less shown in blue and green, while users and accounts that were interacted with the most appear in gray, followed by gold, red, and orange. Some of the most popular accounts interacted with include YouTube, NVIDIA GeForce, Twitch, and other streamers such as Aculite, which make content alongside Fuglet. Because these accounts all share a direct relationship with Fuglet TV, many of the other network analysis metrics hold very little value here. This is the reason why I've chosen to focus on the weighted degree in this network. Next, let's take a look at the YouTube presence. I've chosen to take a look at a video with 100 tips and tricks for PUBG, and we want to take a look at how the fans are engaging in the comments section. Firstly, we can see that fans are engaged in a positive way. From the sentiment analysis, we see that there are 490 positive comments. Most of these are praising the YouTube channel as well as the streamer and the content. The neutral comments are mostly related to the things that were discussed in the video, as well as people in the comments expanding on those ideas. This shows us that there's a sense of community and that fans are engaged both with the content creator and themselves. We can also see the fans are loyal to the PUBG content. Lots of these comments revolved around the fact that the fans were happy to see content about PUBG, and as we all know, the internet can be a dark place, but there were only about 144 negative comments, which is much less than would be typically expected in a YouTube comments section. The sentiment analysis also tells us that these tips and tricks type content are a large opportunity for the fan base to be expanded. Many of the streamers' YouTube videos are just day-to-day gameplay, and not a lot focus on the mechanics and ways to get better at the game. And because this is one of the more popular videos, we can see that fans will engage with purely informational videos at the same rate as entertainment videos. It's time to take a look at some of the conclusions we've drawn from this analysis. We can see on Twitter that many of the tweets are information-based, announcing the times of streams, as well as new content being posted on YouTube, and possibly tournaments that the streamer will be competing in. We can also see the streamer is highly engaged with sponsorship and organizations, which is undoubtedly highly valuable to his brand in being able to create new content and expand to new markets. However, it would appear that there's a lower engagement from the streamer to the fans, but this can be explained by the fact that the streamer has other avenues of interacting with the fans, such as Discord servers and live streams. This, however, does not mean that there isn't an opportunity for the streamer to engage more with fans on Twitter and use that as a way to organically grow his viewership. Not to mention as a way to identify new sponsorships and partnerships which may be appealing to his fan base. Taking a look at YouTube, we can see that the fans are engaged with the informative content and also use this as an opportunity to engage with each other and form a strong sense of community, which can also help grow the followers organically. Another important takeaway is that the fans that are engaged and commenting on the YouTube videos are leaving mostly positive or neutral comments, which is indicative of building a strong, tightly knit online community. This community tends to help each other out and also provide ideas for new content. The strength of this online community can also be seen with the relatively low number of negative comments left on the video. This indicates to us that the streamer is doing a good job of creating content on YouTube and that it's reaching the correct audiences. In conclusion, we can see that the streamer is using Twitter as a broadcasting platform and that fans are less likely to interact with that content directly. The fans are interacting with each other and the streamer at a much higher rate on the YouTube channel, thus making it a good opportunity for sponsorships and make it one of the more valuable assets for the brand to grow. Thank you for watching, and I hope this analysis has given you some valuable insight into the strengths and weaknesses of this streamer's brand.